The man quickly removed the wooden plank placed over the toilet and told his son and daughter to hide inside. As soon as he hid the children, he turned around and charged at the cannibals who had broken in. At first, he managed to knock down the 3 men who came forward. But in the end, he was alone, and there were too many enemies in front of him. Within moments, someone struck him from behind with a stick, and he fell to the ground. The brother and sister, hiding inside the pit, were trembling with fear. But what happened next was even more horrifying. Right before their eyes, they saw the cannibals lift their father and carry him away like hunters carrying a wild boar. Both children were so terrified that they didn't even dare to breathe. The boy was afraid that if his little sister started crying, they would both be caught. So he quickly covered her mouth tightly to make sure no sound escaped. After a long time, when the cannibals finally left, only then did they feel a little relief. That's when the boy noticed that his sister's wound had swollen badly and a severe infection had spread. The biggest problem was that all the antibiotics they had were already gone. If they didn't get new medicine soon, the infection would get worse, and his sister might not survive even 3 days. Thinking this, the boy made a big decision. He decided that he would go out alone and find medicine. But he had no idea how dangerous this decision would turn out to be. This journey was so risky that it could cost him his own life. In fact, the story begins in a world after a terrible disaster. A deadly disease spreads across the entire world. The weather becomes extremely harsh, and crops stop growing. Slowly, everything starts to disappear. Driven mad by hunger, the remaining humans lose their humanity and begin killing and eating each other. Before anyone realizes it, 10 years pass. Now, every piece of land is covered in the shadow of death. Fewer than 1,000 people are left alive on the entire planet. The main character of the story is a simple boy who is a bit timid and weak by nature. He somehow survives by hiding in a broken hut with his father and younger sister. At first, the sister's injury wasn't very serious, but in this ruined world, there are no medicines and no proper ways to clean wounds. Because of this, even a small injury gradually becomes worse. Now the situation is such that the girl's body is burning with a high fever. She is struggling to breathe, and she is slowly losing consciousness. The biggest problem is that the last remaining antibiotic they had is also finished. Without medicine, his sister might only have a few days left to live. Seeing his weak sister in this condition, the boy begins to break down from the inside. He remembers the last look his father gave him. He thinks that if his sister also dies, then he will be completely alone in this ruined world, and there will be no meaning left in his life. Finally, he makes a big decision. He thinks that when death is certain anyway, why not risk his life and try once? To save his sister and in memory of his father, he decides to go to the cannibals' camp and find medicine. First, he tightly secures the door of the hut so that his sister remains safe. Then he places the last bit of clean water he has beside her. After that, he sets out in search of medicine, following the trail of his father's blood. All around him, the sky is dull and hazy. A cold wind keeps blowing constantly. There is no sign of life anywhere in the deserted land. Everywhere, there is only deep silence and despair. Because of hunger and cold, the boy's strength slowly starts to fade. After walking some distance, his condition becomes so bad that he collapses near a riverbank. His body stiffens from the cold, and he is almost about to lose consciousness. His entire body starts turning blue. He urgently needs warm clothes, otherwise he won't be able to complete the journey. If he doesn't protect himself from the cold immediately, he might die even before reaching the cannibals' camp. Now he doesn't have time to think. He goes straight to a nearby house and kicks the door open. Inside, an old man is lying down. Without saying a word, the boy takes off the old man's warm clothes and wears them himself. The old man just watches him silently. Deep sorrow and helplessness are clearly visible in his eyes. In a broken voice, he asks a question. But the boy has no answer, because in this ruined world, only one rule remains: to survive, a person must cross every limit. Even so, deep inside, he feels sorry for the old man. But his sister's life is more important. He wants to return with medicine at any cost. After wearing the warm clothes, his body slowly begins to heat up. Some strength returns to him. He once again starts moving toward the cannibals' camp. After walking some distance, he notices a dying pile of fire on the ground. When he goes closer, he sees half-burnt human bones lying among the ashes. Seeing the pieces of clothing beside the bones, his heart sinks. Those clothes belonged to his dead father. He immediately understands that the cannibals had killed and eaten his father, and after that, they threw his bones here. The thought shatters him. Tears silently begin to roll down his eyes. With trembling hands, he starts digging the ground and makes a small pit right there. Then he gently places his father's remaining bones into it. There is no gravestone, no ritual, no prayer. But in that ruined world, this is the only thing he can do for his father. After burying his father, his strength is almost gone. Still, he does not stop, because he knows his sister must be waiting for the medicine he will bring. After walking for about another hour, he sees a broken tent in the distance. A small ray of hope rises in his heart. He becomes sure that this must be the cannibals' camp. He carefully approaches the tent. After observing the surroundings for a while and making sure no one is inside, he quietly enters the tent and starts searching for medicine. But just as he is rummaging through things, suddenly a woman attacks him from behind. They struggle for quite some time, and eventually, the boy manages to knock her down. But just as he is about to search for medicine again, the entire group of cannibals returns to the camp. The boy instantly realizes that if they see him, he won't survive. He quickly drags the woman's body outside the camp and then lies down on the ground, hiding while watching everything. That's when he notices that the cannibals have also brought a small boy with them. It is clear from his condition that he will soon become their prey. The boy feels the urge to save him. But fighting so many cannibals alone is beyond his ability. While he is lost in this dilemma, something unexpected happens. One of the cannibals notices an axe lying on the ground. It is the same axe that slipped from the boy's hand while he was dragging the woman's body. Now the situation gets even worse. As soon as the cannibals see the axe, they realize that someone is hiding nearby, and they immediately begin searching the area. Luckily, the spot where the boy was hiding was slightly lower ground. He quickly covers the woman's body with dry leaves so no one gets suspicious. Then, seizing the moment, he circles around from the other side and quietly sneaks back into the camp. Slowly, he makes his way to the small boy and unties his ropes. But as soon as the child starts to run, the guards hear the noise and become suspicious. They immediately start chasing him. Taking advantage of this moment, the boy begins searching the camp. That's when his eyes fall on a locked box. He thinks that the medicine might be inside it. He tries to kick the box open with all his strength, but the lock is too strong and doesn't break. Meanwhile, the cannibals who had gone out searching slowly start returning. Now, the boy has no choice but to hide. He quickly crawls under an old van nearby and stays there, waiting for night to fall. After a long time, when it finally becomes deep night and all the cannibals fall asleep, he slowly comes out. Crawling quietly, he reaches their leader and takes the key hanging around his neck. Then, using that key, he unlocks the box. As soon as the box opens, he finds exactly what he needed the most: antibiotics. To protect himself from the cannibals, the boy first locks the van door from the outside so they can't immediately chase him. But while escaping, his foot hits a wire, and the leader wakes up. After that, the boy starts running toward his shelter with all his strength, carrying the medicine. The leader and his cannibal men begin chasing him. The boy runs as fast as he can, but his body is completely exhausted, and he can't go very far. Because of this, the cannibals catch him. Meanwhile, the girl wakes up after hearing the sounds of wild dogs. She starts thinking about her brother, because a long time has passed and he still hasn't returned with the medicine. After some time, when the boy regains consciousness, he finds that the cannibals have tied up his hands and feet. It seems like they are about to cook and eat him. After a while, the boy notices a whistle. Seizing the opportunity, he blows it. Hearing the sound, a pack of wild dogs starts rushing toward them. Out of fear, the leader and his men run away to save themselves from the dogs. The boy quickly cuts his ropes and hides behind a tree. After that, he puts on his clothes and starts running away from there. But the leader is very cunning. He injures one of his own men so that the dogs attack him, and then they all start chasing the boy again. However, the boy manages to kill all of the leader's men one by one. Now only the two of them are left alive. The boy attacks the leader with an arrow, and it hits him straight in the leg. But just then, the wild dogs return again. Seeing this, the boy runs away from there. Because the leader is injured and has an arrow in his leg, he becomes food for the wild dogs. After that, the boy finally makes it back to his hut with the medicine. But as soon as he arrives, the ground seems to slip beneath his feet. His sister is not there. Seeing this, he completely breaks down. He thinks that maybe the cannibals have found and taken her as well. At that moment, his heart fills with pain, and he loses all hope. Suddenly, someone places a hand on his shoulder from behind. Startled, he turns around and sees his sister standing there. Seeing her safe and alive, he finally feels a sense of relief. This journey has completely changed him, and the movie ends right here. Thanks for watching.